Hey! Let's go barbecue!
You are complete in Jesus Christ.
Bingo!
It is a done deal.
Bingo!
How do you like that?
Bingo!
Yeah, I can hear you now.
The man on a mission. Give it to God. BBQ.
Alright, y'all. I'm unloading from Lakeland, Florida. Gearing up, gonna head to Chatsworth, Georgia, then off to Cumming, Georgia the following week, and Demopolis in December, and I'm done for the year. But that's not why I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you about the position of Vice President for the newly formed, very potentially cool Barbecue Association, the BCA! Now look, okay, here's the deal. Thought a lot about this. In fact, shot some video down in Lakeland. Said forget about that. I'm just going to talk to you. And you're not going to want to vote for me. So, you know, because what I would propose and what I would do would be way outside most people's comfort zones. It would just, you know, Twitter paid them. But that's me. Hey, so I'm going to throw it out there anyways. Just so you could see what would Jeff do as Vice President and a driving force behind the BCA. And it wouldn't be what it looks like right now. Right now, the BCA is, for all intents and purposes, the IBCA without the I. And definitely not what I would do. Okay, so what would I do? Well, which is cool too, because the vice president position starts and is responsible for judging and training judges and that whole element there. And having done 93 professional barbecue competitions, I can tell you that judging is always a heartburn situation for competitors, unless you win. I mean, if you win, the judging was perfect, you know, but every other time there's issues with judges, and I understand that, and I get that. And what I would do is create an organization or structure the organization such that the cooks themselves did the judging. I think the big part of where the rub is between cooks and judges is that judges don't have any skin in the game. You know, I mean, they're just showing up off the streets or, you know, stumbling out of a casino or whatever, and they're coming and tasting barbecue, but have no appreciation for what goes into making good barbecue, and in reality don't have a good idea, don't have a palate. Their palate's not discerning on what really is great barbecue, because it's different. It's not like anything you ever buy in a restaurant. You all know that. The layers of flavor that we put on it, the time and effort and energy that we do to trim it and cook it and finish it, you'll never get that in the restaurant. So we understand that. And so I think the absolute coolest organization would be one where the cooks did the judging. Here's how it'd work. You take your turn-in box, whatever the meat was, chicken, ribs, brisket, pork, if there is, and I'm suggesting 3. You only have 3 categories to keep the pace calm and whatnot. 3 of the 4. You can pick any 3, but 3 of the 4. And so you at turn-in would be, say, noon for chicken. And there's no 5 before, 5 after, 10 before, 10. It's noon. And you, as the head cook, show up to the judging tent holding your box. You take your box, you sit down at a table with 4 other judges. So there's 5 teams, 5 head cooks that are sitting there with their boxes. Put them into a tray. The officials come by, pick up that tray, go behind the curtain, shuffle the trays around, and bring you a tray from another table. You know, what you'd do too is you'd have experienced cooks mixed up with less experienced cooks on each table. So when you checked into the contest, you would be assigned a table that you would be sitting at, and the people would figure out who's sitting where and judge and whatnot. So you would judge it. Each box obviously would remain closed, and then you would open it up, and in that box would be 7 individual servings of whatever meat you wanted to have in there for that category. If you wanted chicken wings, chicken thighs, chicken breast, whatever you wanted to have in there, brisket slices, burn ends, pulled brisket, chopped brisket, whatever. At least there's 7 servings in there. And you'd open up the boxes would be out there on the table. You'd sit there and you'd take a box. You'd open up a box and take a serving, put it on a plate or whatever. You judge one entry at a time, and you would judge it with a comment card. All judging would be via comment cards. So at the end of the day, you're going to get a little envelope that has 5 comment cards for each category. You're going to have what the 5 judges judge you in. Why? Because here's one of the deals. You're judging on taste and tenderness too. No appearance, but taste and tenderness. Scale is 5 to 10, and you can do decimal points. You can do 9.3, 8.9. Wherever you feel, hey, it wasn't a 9, wasn't an 8. It's like an 8.8. You can put that down for taste and for tenderness. And then on the tenderness side, which is a big rub out there in the world, it's like, people will say, hey, I got a 7 in tenderness. What does that mean? Too tender, not tender enough. Well, the comment cards would have the box to check. If you'd say, hey, this was an 8 on tenderness, and you'd check the overcooked side or the undercooked box to let you know I gave it an 8, but it was undercooked. If it was cooked a little bit more, it would have been a 9 or a 10. So you're going to get that feedback, which I think is really cool. I mean, it's cool for rookie cooks coming in that are just getting started in the professional barbecue world, because they're just going to get a tremendous amount of feedback, and they themselves will be sitting at a table judging with 4 other cooks, couple real experienced guys, and tasting some outstanding barbecue, getting an idea of what that flavor profile is all about. The other thing would be the ticket number things would go away. I mean, you show up, you get a team number on your box. They can change that or just leave it the same. But at awards, your name is called, your team name is called. You don't have to worry about 5, 2, 3, 8, 1, 6. It's first place brisket. Give it to God, baby. And it's like, that's just a very cool thing. It's awesome to hear your name coming out over the loudspeaker and people cheer for you. People know who it is and they're cheering for you as you're going up there. A lot of times guys will walk up there, nobody knows who they are, whatever, who is it, what, and so anyways. I would have head cooks be the judges. I would have the categories, and obviously inherent in what I said about judging, there would be no final tables. You get one. You get one number. You're going to judge it on taste and tenderness. Decimals would be allowed, numbered between 5 and 10. Each category has 7 individual servings. You can put as many different variations in there as you want, as long as there's 7 individual servings. But you can put in wings, thighs, breast, whatever, or a combination of those. You know what I'm saying? And ribs are ribs, period, end of story. You just put ribs in there, as many ribs as you want to put in there. And pork is pork. But that's what I would do. And I think what that would do also is make it an organization and a governing body that when people heard about a BCA event, they'd be like, hey, you know what, I want to check that out. And I think a lot of the traveling guys would be interested in that as well, because it's an opportunity to really work on new stuff that you want to do. Hey, I've never cooked wings at a contest. I want to do that. I want to see what kind of feedback I get. I want to see how they would turn out. I want to see how people would judge them. And obviously you get that feedback. Is great taste, too salty, not salty enough, whatever. sauce was good, you know, cooked right or whatever, you know. And the comment cards would have a section there for, you know, how could I improve? And so, you know, the cooks would write that down. Now, you may be wondering, well, I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't cook and judge at the same time. Look, if there's an hour in between turn-ins and you start right on the button, the most it's going to take start to finish is probably 20 minutes. So you just plan your cook accordingly, and you get in there, you turn it in, you do your stuff, you do your judging, you get out, finish up the next category, come on in and do that. So that would be very cool. I highly doubt it will happen. But I wanted to get it out there so that the next time I'm at a BCA contest or whatever, and people are going like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't even make final table, man. It sucks, man. That was the best chicken I ever put in the box, man. I'll be like, well, dudes, I gave you an alternative. And it's funny too, because you know, you hear that all the time. Man, the best food ever put. I say it. You know, my brisket in Ponchatoula, right down the road here. You know, I got 2s and 3s out of 10. I'm telling you, I've never cooked a brisket that deserved a 2 or 3. But then again, it's being judged by people who don't have any skin in the game. Guarantee if it was judged by cooks, it'd be a different story. It'd be very cool, because that's what we do at contests anyways. I mean, at a contest, we will, you know, we'll go and say, you know, go into their trailer and go, hey man, taste my chicken, man. We're cutting off big hunks, you know, whatever, and we're trying it, and we're giving feedback and helping these cooks grow and do a better job. So all in all, nice family, fun, friendly environment, great feedback, different format, cooks doing the judging, which organizers would dig. Man, an organizer puts together a contest, it's like I don't have to worry about judges. The cooks are going to judge, and they're required to judge. If the head cook doesn't show up with the box, you're DQ'd. So on that category, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's my plan. That's what I would do as vice president. Again, you're probably in your best interest not to vote for me because it's pretty radical what I would bring. But look, if you overwhelmingly vote for me and say, hey, we want this guy, we really like this is really cool, it's going to happen because you, the voters, have said this is what we want. There won't be any negotiation. It won't be like, hey, let's talk about it. It's like, no, hey, this is what we're going to do. Let's write up the rules. Let's write up the procedures. Let's get this done. So, let's go barbecue, baby. Clean, turn it, get it ready to go. Head on over to Chatsworth, Georgia. So, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Hey, if you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, if you haven't made Him your Lord and Savior, seriously?
Well, I'm Paul the Apostle, preaching truck stop gospel. I'm not angry, no, I'm not hostile. Just want you to love my Jesus. Gonna make you a true believer. Just wanna modify your behavior. I just want you to love my Savior.
That's all, folks.